Hi everyone, Corey Padgett here for another edition of our Google Analytics workshop between T2 Marketing International and the Social Media Strategy Summit. Today I thought we would cover some of the elements that exist within your attribution modeling system in the back end of Google Analytics. Now, attribution modeling is a hugely useful tool, especially when it comes to understanding the customer journey off of your site and get a better understanding of where best to allocate marketing resources in order to capitalize on the avenues and media that are leading to the highest amount of conversions and, of course, the highest value conversions. Now, to get into the details of model comparison that you see here, to get into the details of actually building out attribution models is a little more complex than what we're going to get into today. There is a ton that you can do with it. What we're simply going to look at are the different types of attribution models that you see listed here and what those mean. Now, to get to your attribution model comparison tool, you're going to want to first go down to your conversions menu on the left-hand side, and then at the bottom in attribution, you'll want to select model comparison. That's where we are here. It's important to note that the only way to track different attribution models is to have proper goals in place. Now again, these goals don't necessarily have to be monetary. You'll recall in one of the earlier sessions that we covered, goals don't necessarily have to be related to e-commerce. Of course, there are e-commerce integrations in Google Analytics. But in this particular case, you don't necessarily have to have a monetary attribution to your goal. You just have to have goals in place in order for attribution to be working. So, in terms of what these different attribution models mean, let's first take a look at an example. Say, for example, you have a customer who finds your website by clicking on an AdWords ad, and then this customer returns a week later from, say, a Facebook post that you shared, and then later on in that same day, they come back through an email blast that you sent out, and then shortly thereafter, they come back again going directly to the URL, and they make a purchase or they download something. Anyway, whatever it is, they convert. Now, based on the path that was taken, so starting with AdWords, then clicking from a social post on Facebook, then coming back through an e-blast, and finally coming back direct, there are a whole bunch of touches for this one particular customer. We're going to look at how different attribution models might allocate value to each one of those touch points in the process. So in a last interaction attribution model, 100% of the credit for a conversion is given to the last channel that led to the visitor arriving on the site. So in this particular case where the customer starts at AdWords, then social, then email, then a direct visit to the website, the direct channel would be the last interaction and would be given 100% of the credit. After that, we have our last non-direct click. Now, what is a last non-direct click? Well, this attribution gives 100% of the credit to the last channel that the customer clicked through before converting, if the last channel is not direct. So for example, in this case where we have AdWords, social, email, and then direct, since we're last non-direct click attribution modeling, then direct would be taken off the table and we'd be looking at email as having been given 100% of the proceeds. The reason why is because when someone comes to our website directly, presumably they will have been to our website in the past, they'll know a little bit more about us, so we want to know a little bit about what marketing efforts are leading to these conversions as opposed to the last direct visit. Next, we have our last AdWords click. In this case, it is the paid search channel that's being given 100% of the credit. Since in the example we gave, we have one AdWords click, then that sole click will be given 100% of the credit. Obviously, if we have a customer who's clicked on 10 different ads, it's the last ad that they clicked on before they converted, whatever that path that followed might be. First interaction, which is an interesting one, is going to be 100% of the credit given to the first interaction that your customer has with your brand in some capacity. Now, in this particular case, we had AdWords followed by social, email, and finally direct. The first interaction in this case is AdWords. The value here is that it shows us what conversions are coming, or where is our brand being found that leads to the highest number of conversions. So a really valuable interaction to look at. Linear gives an equal amount of credit to every one of the components that went into a conversion. So in this example, we saw AdWords, we saw email, we saw social, and we saw direct. With those four, all four of them would be given 25% of the value of the conversion, as opposed to giving 100% to one or another, or 50% to one or another. All of them are getting an even share of the pie when it comes to the value they gave to that conversion. Time decay has to do with the touch points closest in time to the sale. In this particular case, let's say we had a week between that AdWords click and then our our AdWords click and then our social post, and then that same day we went from the social post to the email to the direct visit. The email and the direct visit would be given the most credit because those happen closest to the conversion, and as time goes back, those other touch points get less and less credit based on how far back they are. Lastly, we have our position-based decay. In this particular case, the credit is assigned to each the first and the last interaction. 40% of the credit is given to those two. So in our case, AdWords and direct would be given 40% each, and 20% would be given to the interactions in the middle. So essentially, we're saying 10% credit to those two. The reason why is that Google sees the first and last interaction as being the most powerful, the point at which your brand is discovered, and the point at which the customer chooses to convert. I hope you found this session helpful. There is a ton of value that can come from model attribution models. I highly recommend diving into it, learning a little bit more about what these different models are, how they might be able to assist you, and definitely building out in obviously a new view, building out some goals and some attribution modeling so you can get a better feel for it. With that, be sure to check back regularly for more videos, and thank you very much.